Hi and good evening. Here's Alina, and I have the pleasure to talk to the famous now author, Mr. Scott M. Baker. Oh, I actually found through his Vampire Hunter series, but he is famous now for his Nurse Alyssa series. So, hi Scott, welcome.
Hi, Alina.
Would you
Great
like
to
to
see
tell
you.
us which?
Thank you for doing this.
You're most welcome. Would you like to tell us a few words about your series and what is available on Amazon at the moment from your
Well,
work?
my current series, as you mentioned, the Nurse Alyssa versus the Zombie series. Uh, that's the most current, and that's the most action-packed. It's about a young nurse who found herself in the center of the zombie outbreak during her
Mhm.
shift at Mass General Hospital in Boston. And the whole series is about her trying to survive, trying to get out of Boston, what happens in her hometown, trying to get to her cabin in New Hampshire where they can ride out the apocalypse. And of course, it's a zombie novel, so anything good that happens is usually counted by zombies. The
You're
other
at the
series I
moment at
have,
book four, right? You're at
yes,
the
book
moment at
four
book four.
just came out. The fifth book in the series, Desperate Mission, is almost finished. That'll
Oh,
be coming out November 15th.
awesome.
That book is completely action packed. I take zombies and how to kill zombies to strange places. And it's got a very unusual twist to it. And it's got a great ending.
We are all looking forward to reading this. And you have another zombie series, the Rotter series. I just saw a
Well, I do
picture.
have the Rada World Series, which was my first zombie series. Um,
Mhm.
that is a story about humans and vampires trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. And what happens is they're getting along, they don't like each other, but they're doing what they have to survive. And then a scientist shows up from the government and says, "Oh, we've got a cure. We've got the vaccine and the cure that will stop the zombie outbreak, but it's located 500 miles away in an underground military bunker." So you could just
And
imagine where the series goes from.
yes, I can. I read it and I love it. So I highly recommend it with all my heart. And because this is the month of Halloween.
Oh,
And
yes.
one of your coolest series, one that I love a lot, is the Vampire Hunters. It's the Blade versus Buffy kind of series. If you want
Yeah.
to tell us just a few words about it, because I'm sure a lot of the zombie fans are also vampire fans. I mean, they are just going hand in hand. And I'm
It's
Transylvanian, so I have
That's fine. Stake a friend. It's one of my favorite series. It was the first series of books I wrote, and it's about a small band of vampire hunters battling vampires in Washington D.C. And my vampires don't sparkle. They don't sit there and oh, I ate a person once. Oh, I feel so bad. They're 30 Days of Night. They're like the vampires in the Blade series or in
and
Buffy.
Buffy.
They're
Yes.
just cruel. They eat their way through humans. The little twist I have in this series is that there is a way the vampires can control the world, and the vampire hunters are the only ones that can stop.
Yeah, but it's action packed, but also it's okay to be read by younger audience because you kind of keep your language clean there and
Yeah,
you
but I
don't
do
have
have I do have some intense sexing.
they're not that
The the
that bad.
the book series that is the best for youngest kids is the Shattered World series.
Yeah, that's
Young
amazing. Also, I'm a fan.
Thank you. The young adult post-apocalypse. It's about Jason McCreary's mother conducts a scientific experiment that blows open portals between hell and earth. And Jason goes around trying to close the portals to save the family name and to save the world. And the fifth book in the series, the last one, which I think has got the best twist to it, that'll be coming out October 31st, this Halloween.
Oh, awesome. Oh, how
Or
creepy.
today, since this will be aired on Halloween.
Very cool. And this is a great story. It's like this coming of age story. I am a huge fan and I highly recommend it because you went all the way with your monsters in the Shattered World series. Like nobody can accuse you that you don't have a wild imagination when it comes to monsters. But still, your most famous series at the moment and the ones with the best Amazon rankings and the biggest following is Nurse Alyssa versus the Zombies.
Nurse,
And
I'm loving doing that series.
yes, and it's great because no, they're shorter stories, right? The books are shorter. You can read them in one sitting.
Hmm.
And I think you already reached 100 reviews for your first book. Am I right? Or
I'm
you're very
close,
close?
98 last count.
Hey. Just two more. Maybe until this interview goes live, you will reach 100 reviews. So
I'm hoping.
congratulations.
Thank
You have
you.
to get 2 unicorns from Amazon for 100 reviews, bro. A question that a lot of other fans asked was, who was your from all your books and all your series, who is your baddest bad guy? And did you have fun writing the bad guys, or is it more like an effort for you to write a bad character in a story, an
Oh
evil
no,
character?
writing bad characters is fun. I'll say it's the female vampire from the Vampire Hunters.
Oh, she's cool. Tony, right? Antoinette.
Tony, yeah, Antoinette Varela. Tony. She's the cool. I mean, she's the most badass. She's vengeful, she's spiteful, and as things develop throughout the plot, she becomes more disturbed. She becomes more of a monster than a master. And I just had a great time writing her.
She's very much the way a real vampire should be. Like she's bloodthirsty. She's literally stepping over bodies, over dead bodies to reach her purpose. But one of the scenes that creeped me personally out the most, and it's in your Shattered World series, is the one with the spiders. Like, why are you going to the primal sources of fear for a lot of people? Because like we have a We Hate Scott movement in your fan group because some of us hate spiders and you gave us nightmares from your last Shattered World book.
Well, I mean, that to me is the best thing, is to tap into the primal fear.
Yes.
You know, most people hate spiders. I don't mind them, but you know, if you're being attacked by hundreds of spiders the size of, like a German Shepherd, that's got to be scary,
That's
especially when they spit acid.
yes, you have created some amazing monsters.
Thank you.
Um, they're very cool. We all love Archer, the cat on the cover of Nurse Alyssa.
Yeah,
Became your trademark. Will you
yeah.
keep having Archer on the covers, or is it just
Arch is going to be in the books for a while. I don't want to say he'll be in them forever because anybody who reads my book knows I kill off all the characters. But Archer is going to stay around for a while. Archer is based on my cat, Archer. It's real. All the shenanigans he pulls in the book, my cat does. So if Archer pisses me off really bad enough at home, he may get killed off in the books.
No, don't kill Archer. You have to bring him back from the dead then, and then we go into
Zombie
Stephen King
cats.
territory, and it's another it's another story if we get in that area. So, do you have an author, dead or alive, that you would like to, I don't know, hang out, not socially distance, have a beer, have dinner, and just pick the person's mind?
The author I would love to meet and sit down with is the author that got me hooked onto horror novels, Graham Masterton.
Cool.
When I was 10 years old, my mother was great. My mother fostered my love for horror because I was reading. And she didn't care what I read as long as I was reading. So when I was 10, she bought me this book called The Manitou, which was about a Indian medicine man who committed suicide in the 1800s and is now regrowing on the back of a woman's neck. And they do x-rays on it. They naturally deform it. And when it finally gives birth through her neck, it wreaks havoc in the hospital. I'm 10 years old, and I'm reading this, and elevators full of butchered cops and demons being summoned and, biting off doctors' hand. I was hooked. After that, I did nothing but read horror novels. And I probably wouldn't be a horror writer today if I hadn't read him. So I'd love to meet him. I'd love to sit down, buy him dinner, and just pick his brain.
That's so cool. Your mom has to be a really, really great person.
She is. My mother's a nurse. We'd watch horror movies together, and she'd watch the movie like a Jason movie, and she'd go, "There's not that much blood in a human body."
I can understand this also. My mother is also a nurse, and I watched my first vampire movies with her when I was like 7. She was like, "No, that's not like that." So, so I think we children of nurses are pre-traumatized. We are prepared for the world of
Yeah.
any zombie flick. I don't know, on Netflix. The people ask, "What have you watched last time on Netflix?" Like zombie or vampire or horror related.
Great zombie series on Netflix, The Kingdom.
Yeah,
It's
I love that.
Korean. It's Korean made. It's the Koreans are doing such great zombie films. Train to
Yes,
Busan, Peninsula when it comes out.
Alive. Have you seen Alive?
Alive, yes, I
Love
love
it.
Alive. That one is great. The Kingdom was the last series I watched. It's set in ancient Korea, but they've got a twist on, and they're fast zombies, but they're awesome. But they've got a twist on zombies that is just phenomenal. The last movie I watched actually was Hubie Halloween with Adam Sandler. It's really made for kids. It's a nice story. He's the town geek, and everybody picks on him. Everybody bullies him, and he's still a nice guy, but he winds up solving the Halloween murder mystery that's plaguing this whole little Salem, Massachusetts, actually. Some great shots of Salem. But he winds up saving the town and figuring everything out, and then all the bullies get theirs at the end.
I try not to give spoilers away because I just watched it today, and this is why I'm not saying anything. I will just say that his mother, the actress playing his mother, is the lady that played Suki's grandmother in True Blood, and she's like this cutest angel type character, and she's just adorable, and you just expect her to make a cake
and Ray Liotta is such a jerk in the movie. Yes. He's perfect for that role.
But it was a really fun movie. I admit I'm an Adam Sandler fan, and I usually watch his stuff, so it was funny. A classic horror movie, please. We all have them. Something that you can watch 100 million times and you're still not bored of it.
Okay, classics, and by that I'm talking like movies in the 30s of that. Frankenstein. Love Frankenstein. Awesome. I think that is one of the most brilliant movies ever made. But a movie that I just adore. If it's on, I'll watch it. If it's not on, I'll call it up on Netflix. Is 1981's John Carpenter's The Thing. That movie to me is just perfect. The special effects, it's not CGI, it's all handmade special effects. The terror in it, the tension that Carpenter builds, it's one of the best movies ever made.
And I will ask you the classic question, the controversy, fast zombies versus slow zombies. Your fans know on which side of the fence you are, but maybe for the people who don't know your work yet, which one would you always pick?
I prefer hordes of slow zombies. But if fast zombies are done right, I think they're great. The Kingdom, World War Z, Train to Busan, The Dawn of the Dead, the remake. In my books, I use both. The freshly reanimated zombies are fast zombies. They're violent, they're quick, they're powerful. And then as time goes on and the body slowly decays, they become the thousands of shambling hordes that you run into, and Yeah, you can outrun them, but not if you're surrounded by like 300 of them.
Yes, you hopefully don't run into them because then you have a huge problem and
Yeah.
you just need an alien, somebody to beam you out of from the middle of
Nurse
of
Alyssa finds that out many times.
yes, I know. I'm a fan, but again, I don't want to give away spoilers. This is why I'm not asking, well, how did you came up with that twist on the zombies that is making such a huge impression on your readers? I just
Um,
ask how. Because you have this great twist for everybody who has not read yet. Nurse Alyssa versus the Zombies. Go pick it up. It's on Kindle Unlimited. And Scott came up with a twist that I never ever encountered in any of the zombie books that I ever read. So it's amazing.
I came up with it. It's just a natural process. You know,
Mm-hmm.
anything that hunts will eventually learn how to hunt better. And I'm not trying to give anything away. I'm trying to make it. But in book 4, certain zombies go beyond the brains and develop the ability to hunt like any predator would.
So this means that you consider that the zombies are capable of learning and of changing their behavior.
I think
Oh,
anything. Yeah, I think some of them could adapt and learn that way.
like the primary lizard brain is kicking in and they are just getting better hunters.
Yes. Yeah.
If you could adapt a classic book, like something, I don't know, something, we don't talk now about copyrights and who
Right.
has copyright what. Like you can go in a huge library and say, I want to pick this book and turn it into a zombie or vampire adaptation type of story. What book would it
War and Peace and Zombies.
be? You're killing me.
Zombie
This is one of
hordes
my
fighting Napoleon on the Russian front. Come on, how awesome would that?
no, this is one of my favorite books, like from classic literature. So that would be fun, but I don't know. I think they would be outnumbered because um, I think you need weapons, like guns, to be
Yeah.
able to fight zombies. Because at some point, as strong as you are or as fast as you are, and I'm European, so please, the European people don't come and kill me. We have to keep social distancing. But at some point, how often can you swing a hammer or an axe to bash a zombie's head in before you are exhausted or before your weapon is getting stuck into the head of the zombie? So I
Well,
think
that would explain how the Russians won. See, I just have this image of Napoleonic cavalry charging into a zombie horde.
yeah, but how about if Napoleon would actually be like one of the riders of the apocalypse or something like that, and his horde would be like ravenous undead, and he just needs to feed his horde, and this is his purpose. So he
Oh,
actually,
you'd make Napoleon have the zombie
yes,
army. See, I'm
yes.
thinking the Russians.
No, I think about him as being the conqueror, and he ate literally entire Europe, and now he's moving towards Russia, trying to feed his
Oh,
undead army.
that would be interesting. So then
I'm
when he
looking
takes
forward.
Moscow in 1812, it's not the reason the Russians leave isn't because they've evacuated the city, it's because they were all.
Yes, the ones that could not escape were all eaten by the French army. And maybe the Russians are vampires, so no, maybe the Russians are the aristocratic vampires, and the French are the wild ravens.
War and Peace and Zombies and Vampires.
Yeah, an American-Romanian collaboration. Okay, this would be either a bestseller, like on #1 there, Stephanie Meyer's Watch Out, We're Coming, or
Yeah.
it will be like the last one in the Amazon ranking at the
Yeah, but
bottom.
it'll be picked up by Sci-Fi Channel and turned into a movie.
Yes. From your new Nurse Alyssa, was it hard for you to kill off some of the characters because you kind of killed off some of the characters? Like, how difficult is it for you as an author to kill off a good character, especially if you warmed up to the character already a little bit?
It's not hard for me to kill off a character. It's like to me, a horror novel is almost like a war novel. you're fighting vampires or demons or zombies. There are going to be casualties. I will admit that as as the Shattered World series progressed, I started killing off characters I liked. And I was like, well, I got to kill somebody off, but I've killed off all of the peripheral. Now I've got only the main characters. And I have a huge problem with the fifth book because all the characters that survived to the fifth book were my favorite characters. And yet some of them might have to die. And it's like, well, I don't want to kill this person, and I definitely don't want to kill this person. But, but I try to give them decent deaths. I try to make it so people they'll feel a character's death, whether they're a good character or a bad character.
On a side note, dear people, Decent Death by Scott Baker means that a huge demon bee is going to come out of your skull. This means a decent death. Yeah.
Well, the Shattered World series was fun because, when you write vampires or zombies, you have to stay within certain limits. You can't have zombies with, rays coming out of their eyes. The fans would walk away. But when I'm creating demons from hell, my imagination is the limit. I can do whatever I want. I came up with some good stuff. And wait till you read the stuff in book 5.
I actually beta read it, so I know what you're capable of. I know, and I'm not afraid. I mean, wait. I'm the Transylvanian vampire hunter. I have my own stake. Is there any chance, because I love the Vampire Hunters, I'm a huge fan. I also made a reading for you on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
And here people shameless plug, follow my YouTube channel.
And I thank you for making me the debut on the YouTube channel.
Yes, in Romanian cemeteries, in Transylvanian cemeteries. Is there any chance, because the Vampire Hunters is just a trilogy, is there any chance in your overactive imagination to find a way to bring them back or to continue the series or to do something with vampires again?
I've always had in the back of my mind ways to bring the Vampire Hunters back into a series. It's not something that I've pushed aside. I have definitely plans for sequels, but I had so many other projects going, I didn't have the chance. But now with Shattered World being wrapped up, Nurse Alyssa is going along very well. I do have another post-apocalyptic non-zombie series that I'm going to start publishing in 2021. But I think it might be time to consider bringing back Drake and Allison.
Oh, great. Let me know. If a question from another fan, sorry I forgot the names. I had it on a piece of paper, but I remember the question. If you could live in any one of your stories, like step in and be a character, but knowing that this is the world you created and having the insight, which story would you pick?
The Vampire Hunters.
Okay, and would you be a vampire or a hunter?
Huh?
Would you be a vampire or a hunter?
Oh, a hunter. A hunter. I don't know. The vampire life isn't for me. I prefer whiskey over blood. So. But no, I mean, you still live the normal life. You still have a home. You still get to have your pets. And then you go to work, you kill vampires, and you go home and watch TV.
Yeah, but you always work nights. And I mean, as a vampire, if you drink the blood of somebody that had a lot of whiskey before, is it not as if you would drink whiskey?
Well, I admit, Drake Matthews was my alter ego. He was the guy I always wanted to be. Cigar smoking, drank iced coffee, drank whiskey, and had a pet rabbit. It was me. I just wanted to be running around, rather than sitting behind a desk hunting terrorists. I rather would run around the streets of Washington hunting vampires. And he had a sidekick.
Sounds like a plan. What do you say? Good luck with that.
Yeah, you people think I go out late at night to work at FedEx.
No, we don't believe anything you say. It's all misinformation, people. He's actually an undercover vampire hunter.
for the CIA.
You're opening portals to other worlds and you're keeping our world safe. What are your plans with Nurse Alisa? Like, you're now at book 4. How long can we expect to be part of her adventures? How many? Did you plan a number of books in the series,
I'm
or are you just going with the flow?
I'm sort of going with the flow. Book 5 will definitely lead to book 6, and that book is going to be another action-packed, just page turner. You know, both books are going to be one of those. Once you get to a certain point, you're not going to be able to put it down. I'm looking beyond that. Without giving anything away, I think it might be time for Alyssa and her gang to hit the road and start visiting new places, get out of the cabin in northern New Hampshire, and see what the rest of the zombie-ridden world looks
Awesome. So you don't tell us what plans you have for the new series. Can you tell us at
like. Oh,
least?
the new series?
Yes.
It's going to be a post-apocalypse, a massive solar flare is going to hit Earth and wipe out all electronics. And it's going to be about a couple of people, a few characters, how they deal with this new post-apocalyptic environment. And I got a couple of ideas that if I can plan them out and run with them, it's going to be a different take on the typical solar flare. Yeah, there'll be the character who's walking around trying to get back to see his girlfriend or his parents, who sees what it's like on the ground. But there's going to be others that are dealing with situations that arise from the lack of electricity.
Mm-hmm. So you will write a story from like different point of views, right?
Maybe one or no more than 2 or 3 at most.
And will they be meeting at some point, like the characters that you will
I
use?
don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. I'm still doing the research on that, but the whole story will be connected. And that one I plan on running for a while.
We are all looking forward to it. So where can we stalk you if we want to find more information?
Best place to stalk me is my Facebook page, Scott Baker's Demon Hunters. That's where I spend most of my social media. I do constant giveaways and contests. That's where I keep people updated on book sales, things like that. When a new book is coming out, I'm going to be within the next month. I got on order a whole bunch of books, so I'm going to start selling from my home autographed copies of the books. So all anybody who wants a book has to do is just pay for the book, pay postage and handling, and I'll send it off to you. So that's the best place. And then from there, you can find me. I'm on Twitter, vampire_hunters. And I'm also on Instagram and Pinterest, but not as much as I am on the other two.
You are on Scott Baker's Demon Hunters, and you are very chatty. You answer to the comments. You're one of the nicest authors out there.
Well, thank you, yes. And I do have to warn you, but I put a ton of bad puns on my page.
Yes, we got used to that. You are allowed to, it's your page.
Yeah.
So thank you for hanging out and chatting, and we hope to read more of your Nurse Alisa, and I'm looking forward to the new series. And even though I was lucky enough to be a beta reader for Shattered World 5, I can't wait to read it. Like, when it's on Kindle, it's another feeling. And thanks a lot, Scott.
You're welcome, Alina. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Ciao, ciao. Good luck. Ciao,
bye,
ciao.
everybody. Don't get bit.
Bye, bye. Use a stick.